So we're going to start with a magic circle or magic ring. Just as before, we have the tail over the working yarn. Grab a hold of it, go in here, grab a yarn. I'm going to chain 3 because we're working a double crochet. Okay, now we're going to go into that same space and 1 double crochet. Going to go in 1 double crochet. I'm working kind of fast because I assumed you've seen all my other videos where I showed you how to make a chain, a double crochet, a half double crochet, triple crochet, all those types of crochets. So chain 3, work 2 double crochet, that's 3 double crochet because the chain 3 acts as a double crochet. Then we're gonna chain 2, 1, 2, I chained 1 before, and we're gonna go in to that circle again and work another 3 double crochet, 2. Alright, let's, just in case you didn't see it before, over into the, and come out, we have 3 on the hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, and that's a double crochet. 2 chains. We're going to go back into that space right there and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Chain 2. Go into that circle. You can pull it together a little about now. It's your magic. Go into the hole. Pull out the yarn. We have 3 yarns in the hook. Pull through 2 of those yarns. Pull through 2 of them. Go in again. Go in again. That's 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drag your magic ring. Pull your magic ring. And just like that, we have an almost complete square. Of course, like we did before, we're going to chain 2 and then join. So, 1, 2. And join as usual on top of our chain 3 in the beginning and slip stitch, right? That's the start of our square. So what I usually do is if you want to change colors, you have to cut this at this point and then add your other color, but I'm not changing the color, so I'll show you how to go with one color. You see the top of this is where we fastened off our joining stitch, where we joined it. And the next V, we're going to go into the front of it, the front of the stitch, not the whole stitch, not through the back, no, not the whole stitch. We're going to go to the front right there and pull out the yarn and have another slip stitch and through there. Then we go into the hole here, go in, pull it out, and slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 3, and go in with 2 more double crochets. 1, 2, and that's 1 cluster. This is a cluster. Each of this is a cluster. That's what we call it in the granny square business. So we're gonna go with 2 chains as usual. Remember, the chains are working as edges. As you can see, we chain 2 for the bend. You can chain 3 if you want it to be, you want the space bigger, 4 if you want it even bigger. it can be any amount of chains you want. So we're going to go back into that same chain space, this same space, and work another 3 double crochet, and we've created one edge. Now we're going to go into the next hole here with a double crochet, 3 double crochets, and then we're going to do the same with here, 2 chains, and go back into that same hole and come up and make another cluster of 3 and 3. So we're going to go into the next space and we're going to work 3 double crochets, we're going to chain 2 and go into that same space with another 3 double crochet cluster. Going to go into the last, this is the last and final space, same thing we did before, 1, 2, 3, let's chain 2, 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to go at the top of this chain 3 here and have a slip stitch and fasten off our work. So basically repeating the same pattern over and over and over again, but keeping in mind now you've created new spaces. These are new spaces. A new space has been created. So yeah, you have to work 3 into each of those as well. So now we're going to do what we did before. We're going to go into the next place, the front of it, and there, go into that space there, and 1, and then chain 3 as we always do, 1, 2, 3, then we double crochet 2, and then we chain 2, double crochet 3 times into that same space to create your corner. Now we're not going to jump to the next corner. As you can see, we have a new space here in order not to get our work crowning up. Just go into that right there. It's a 3 cluster, and then we go to the next place and do the same thing we did here. Chain 2, next space, another cluster of 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3. So right now you're just gonna keep going like that. 2 clusters, 1 cluster, 2 clusters, 1 cluster, 2 clusters, 1 cluster, and fasten off here. Then in the next row, row 4, you'd have to work just like you did here, put in a cluster here and in all these every other space you see. Do the same thing on the 4th row. Put a cluster into all these spaces, and at the corners put 1 cluster, chain 2, another cluster to create the edges. I'll meet you at the end. So we are at the end. Fasten it off. To continue, you're going to chain 3, work your corner, 3 cluster, chain 2, 3 cluster, go into this next space right here, go into the next space right here and make another edge, which is 3 cluster, chain 2, 3 cluster, make a cluster here, make a cluster here. So basically you're making a cluster in every space you see except for the corners where you make 2 clusters and 2 chains. And that's how to make a granny square. This is the basic, more popular granny square shape. Now I'm going to go on and teach you how to change color. So we're going to be changing colors right now. First you're going to cut this off. Always try to leave in, whenever you're changing colors, always leave in a long enough tail for you to weave in or sew in later. Now we're going to add a new color. So you can start from any corner you prefer. I'll start from here. So you can go in, take that yarn, and pull it through the space right here. Sorry. Pull it through the space right there. Chain 3. And hold on to this. You want to sew around it, like to cover it up, so you don't have that extra tail later, extra tail. And as usual, just do what you would usually do. So because of the tail, I would usually just do one edge at first. Most people would go immediately and then create that edge later, but I create that first edge immediately, just so I can hide my loose end, right? Okay, now go into and that's how you just add a new color. And right? Just keep going there, create your edge and round it, slip here. This is the end, so we're gonna go in and fasten off. And that's how you make a granny square with a solid color if you wanna, and if you wanna join colors, well, you saw it all here first, or second, or third. I don't know. I hope this video helped you, and this is your square. So in the next video I will be showing you a different type of square method. It's a different pattern. I call it the mesh pattern, and this is kind of it. Looks kind of like that, but it has more spacing in it, right? So gonna be doing that. See you in the next video. Borahe.